Hello and welcome to our next tutorial. What we got here is our character walking, and we made a simple enough walk cycle. So I'm just going to have a quick look at that in our dope sheet. So there he is there. He has a 50 frame walk cycle, and if I hit escape here and in Blender game I hit P, I can walk around in the game. I can turn my mouse. There's my character walking around. So what are we going to do here? We're going to make more animations. So let's, this is my animation rig here. We're going to call this ape, because he's our ape. I don't know why he's our ape. He's an ape in the game. So let's make a couple more animations. So let's go to frame 60. And so this is the end of the walk, so it's always a good, idea to sort of integrate the other animations with the walk. So I'm going to insert keyframe here. That's my starting point at frame 60. Now notice that I've keyframed all the modes, not just one or two, and this is going to be, let's say this is an idle cycle. Idle cycles are normally quite long, so I'm going to make this 100 frames long. So there's my idle cycle. So what's he going to do for his idle cycle? Well, actually let's change this. Let's say his idle cycle is GZ, and we'll just, because he's idle, we'll have him just or maybe it's a her, who knows. Hard to tell with boxes. So that'll be maybe our starting point there. Let's turn on X-ray, so make this a little bit easier to see. Maybe X-ray. Oh, my hard drive's doing something there for a second. There we go. Okay. So let's replace, so insert keyframe, and then I can go copy, go back to this one, and then paste. So we're standing still. Now we'll go in and pick a random frame, say 130, and we're just going to, tilt his head this way, tilt his arm. Maybe tilt that one out a bit, and give him a crooked leg there, looking a bit coy. So that's my idle cycle. So if I start at frame 60 and end at frame 160, that will be my idle cycle. 160. Yeah, quite coy. So, and that'll just repeat itself. Normally you want something a little, subtle. That's not terribly subtle, particularly this thing here. But, for what we're doing, that's fine. So that's going to be my idle cycle. And then I'm going to add in a more dramatic animation, which is going to start at frame 170. We'll keyframe that. And it'll end at 185, so it'll be 15 frames long. And so around frame 175, what we're going to do is have him raise his arms. Now that's not an ideal stance, so we'll bring these back. And capture that. So his arms go up, and then frame 8 actually that should be back a little bit, so it'll be faster, actually slower up. So lifts them up, and then he's going to smash them down. So around there, again we're going to rotate that forward. Put our feet back in, have our arms all come down straight. Okay, and record that. So if we go from 170 to 185 and press play, that's our, smash the city down animation. Okay, so let's see them in the game engine. The animations themselves are straightforward enough to make with practice. So let's just stop that, and let's first of all we have to remember our frame count. So you want 60 to 160 is idle, and we want excuse me, we want 70 to 185 to be the attack. So we're going to change to our logic editor. Now let's just decide on, we want an always sensor. We'll call this idle animation. This is going to be an action, and you can see it's been renamed ape here, which is great. And we were 60 to 160. Again, we'll call this idle. And if you remember from at the end of last week's class, we had a look at this. So this is priority. So lower numbers override actions with higher numbers. So the idle is the last thing we want to do. So we'll give that 5. And we want this to be loop stop, and give it about 3 frames of blending. And we'll make it true. Oops, true. Okay. So now that's our idle done. We're going to add in a keyboard input and say spacebar is going to attack. So it's going to be another action. It's going to be attack. And again, it's the same animation. We just have it in a different frame count. So we went 175, 170 I think, to 185. Okay. And now we're going to use a spacebar. We might actually, in Smashy City it doesn't use input attack when you collide, and we might do that. So we might put up in the building here. So when I collide with the building, the animation is triggered. But for now we'll just put a spacebar input so we can switch between them. Loop stop, and so if my walk shouldn't be prioritized over the attack, so we'll give this a priority of 1. We'll leave this with a priority of 0. So this is more important than the walk, which is in turn more important than the idle. And again, we'll give it a blending of say 2 frames because it's quite short itself, so any more and it'll sort of interfere with the animation. Okay, so let's see how that works. Let's press let's go to object mode and press P. So there's my idle cycle, and I'm going to walk forward. I stop walking and I play my idle cycle. Walk around, and then spacebar. Now if I walk and spacebar, I have a little problem. The box is still going forward. If I walk forward, so I'll slide forward while attacking. So yeah, it's not ideal. I can't really get around that. But if we're going to change this so that on collision we play the attack, then that's fine. That'll still work. So here's a character in our game engine live, fully interactive. So I can walk, I can turn around and walk. When I stop walking, take my hands off the keyboard, he'll play an idle cycle. There it is there. And I press spacebar, I attack. I'm holding the spacebar down now, so if I just press it once, you can see it hasn't played the full animation, so it's only when it's true that it'll play through. That's because we have it set to loop stop. If I change this to play, if I hit it once, then it would play the full animation. So that's down to personal choice in terms of how you want the game to run. Alright, so we'll just leave it at that. It's a short tutorial, but this is how to add multiple animations to a single mesh, or a single skeleton, single armature, and have them work in the game engine. And like I said, we'll probably change this from a keyboard sensor to a collision sensor.